Yo, what's good, internet fam? Welcome back to Deep Dive Reddit Stories. This is like the only place where we actually unpack the digital drama so you don't have to lose days scrolling through endless threads. And today, oh boy, we are ripping open a Reddit post that legit broke the internet. Honestly, same. It's titled Final Update. This is the final update to I think my wife's friend is developing feelings for me. Spoiler alert, though, it's definitely less Hallmark movie and way more Am I the Asshole, but make it chaotic. So, our mission basically navigate this absolute relationship labyrinth, decode the wildness in the comments, and just figure out what the heck actually happened. Get ready, because this is going to be a serious vibe check on humanity. For real. Okay, let's unpack this setup first because
Yeah.
it's truly something. So you've got this guy, OP, right? Original poster,
Yeah.
MVP, and he's kind of sensing something, a little sus maybe, about his wife's friend, who we'll call D. But his wife, apparently just completely oblivious. Like, how? But wait, plot twist incoming. The wife, in this, like, moment of seriously questionable judgment, she actually suggests D should treat OP more like a boyfriend than just a good friend. Voila! Get this. To help D feel genuinely wanted and appreciated because, she's had awful luck with men. I mean, seriously. His wife basically said, hey, D, here's my husband. Feel free to use him as, like, a validation doll. No cap. The irony is just, wow. This is where it goes from weird to, hold up, wait a minute.
Yeah, what's truly fascinating here, from like a dynamic perspective, is that foundational misstep. You're trying to solve Dee's uh, relational issues, her need for validation, by involving a married partner in this like quasi-romantic way. The source mentions her past difficulties, right? And that desire for appreciation. That's the context for the wife's, let's call it unconventional advice. But it really raises the question, doesn't it? Was the wife just like genuinely trying to help D? Maybe super naive about it? Or was it kind of enabling? Like, was she maybe dodging a harder conversation about D's self-esteem or something? Such a textbook case of, good intentions paving the road straight to, well, Reddit drama.
A rocky road is putting it mildly. So naturally, D takes this invitation and just sprints with it right off a cliff. OP says D wanted more and more and started to cross boundaries to get it. And we're not talking small boundaries. We're talking full-on lap sitting. I'm sorry, did I read that right? Lap sitting. My dude, that is not friend vibes. That's more like girlfriend in training vibes. Seriously, what in the Wattpad fanfic is going on here? But here's where it gets really wild. The wife, apparently chill at the lap sitting. Yeah, but all this increasing, closeness. But a ring. Dee starts talking about wanting a ring, and that's where the wife draws the line. Not the physical stuff, but the bling. It's giving major this is fine dog meme energy, but for like a relationship implosion. The priorities are just something else.
Right. And if you connect that to the bigger picture, like how these things escalate, D's increasing demands really show that slippery slope. When those first, maybe smaller boundary pushes aren't checked, they almost always lead to bolder stuff later. It's a classic pattern. And the wife's reaction, specifically being triggered by the ring, it suggests she suddenly clicked onto the implications, right? Like maybe less about the actions themselves and more about, oh, wait, this could actually mess up my marriage. A shift from support to threat. And the source notes she admitted she messed up and, crucially, didn't want to say anything to OP. Which brings up another big question. What does that say about their communication beforehand? That she felt she couldn't just, tell her husband when things started going sideways, that kind of avoidance letting it get so precarious. Yeah, that usually points to deeper trust or communication issues.
Totally. So what happens? Our guy OP, he steps up, decides to be the actual adult in the room, which, let's be real, isn't always guaranteed on Reddit. He calls a family meeting for this whole emotional mess. And he just lays all the cards on the table, tells them how completely ridiculous this entire thing is, honestly. Slay, king, absolute slay. No screaming, no drama, just logic. Pure logic. He calmly explained how this whole experiment could literally destroy friendships and marriages. Like, yeah, maybe you don't roleplay emotional boyfriend with your wife's friend. Who knew? All he wanted was a quiet night, maybe a beer. So relatable AF. It was like a surprisingly mature resolution for something that started so incredibly bizarrely.
And what's fascinating there is seeing how effective that direct, honest communication actually was, even after all those missteps. It really just served to de-escalate what could have been a total catastrophe, didn't it? It just underscores the power of tackling things head on, instead of letting them fester and get way more complicated, which often just messes with everyone's heads even more. And the fact that OP reported apologies from both parties, D and the wife, and this quick resolution, that's actually pretty remarkable. It really makes you ask, how often do we actually see that level of immediate accountability, that kind of genuine remorse in these online stories? Because so much internet culture seems to like thrive on dragging out the drama, right? It almost felt anti-internet in a way.
Exactly. So the wrap-up is, wife learned her lesson, apparently. D is going to work on herself, maybe figure out what she actually wants in a partner. And OP, he just wants to chill. Finally get that beer he mentioned. It's almost
Yeah.
wholesome for such a chaotic setup. But then came the line. The ultimate troll move. The sentence that sent the entire internet into meltdown mode. OP just casually drops, "Oh, and there will be no threesome mom," with the laughing emoji, my dude. The sheer audacity. Setting everyone up like that. All that build-up, the drama, the blurred lines. And the final reveal is just collective blue balls for the entire internet. Disappointment across the board.
It's true. And if you connect that to like how people engage online, that final, almost throwaway line, "no threesome," it genuinely became the most talked about part of the whole update. It just perfectly highlights the internet's, let's say, pervasive desire for drama, for sensationalism, sometimes even just crude humor, often way more than wanting a quiet, healthy resolution. It's like everyone projected their own fantasies onto this real situation. A kind of weird parasocial expectation, you know. But OP, he held his ground, he maintained his integrity, stuck to his own comfort zone. Even when, like, the whole internet hive mind was clearly yelling for something else, he chose peace. Chose his own well-being over, getting clicks or playing into strangers' fantasies, which is respectable.
Okay, but now we have to talk about the real main character here. The Reddit comments section. This is where things truly went from, that's weird, straight into, bro, are you kidding me right now? People were absolutely unhinged. The sheer volume of comments just screaming, "no threesome, boo-oo," was honestly wild. People were genuinely upset. You saw stuff like, "you fumbled this so bad," or, my personal favorite, "worst erotic story ever." Like, hello, did you even read the title? It said, "Wife's friend, not your next spicy fanfic prompt." One comment, I kid you not, "challenging rank, but okay." Another just said, "slowly puts the lotion away." Ooh. You'd think these commenters were actually in the relationship with how invested they got. Someone even declared, "can't believe you didn't turn that into a threesome. This was an absolute open invitation." Seriously, that's some peak delusion right there if you think that was an invite. Delusional Riz, maybe? And then, because obviously it's Reddit, you get the classic trope. Wait, not one, but two WO women admitted they were wrong, must be fiction. The amount of cap in those comments was just off the charts. People genuinely couldn't believe it. Comments like, "I have never met even one woman that's self-aware. Dude, go ahead and marry them both." Or just flat out, "this might be the biggest giveaway of fiction." As if women are just like incapable of self-reflection, incapable of admitting they messed up. One person actually said, "knowing it's true and that most women dodge apologies and accountability is crazy." Yikes, it really makes you wonder about some folks' experiences offline. And yeah, people are also calling out the wife's original move, which honestly, fair enough. Lots of comments saying she essentially pimped him out emotionally and for free. That's a pretty solid point. Actually, it really was like an emotional lease agreement with some seriously questionable terms and conditions. One comment just nailed it. "Babe, I need you to emotionally friend my friend." As friends do. The sarcasm was just chef's kiss. Perfectly captured the absurdity. And then, because the internet is going to internet, someone just had to bring God's love into this whole mess, which predictably devolved super fast into this bizarre theological showdown. You had one comment saying, "people these days are so pathetic and shallow, they really would want the threesome over the true love that God provided you for being faithful to him." Okay, then someone else fires back with, "devil's whore here. Deepest, purest love I've experienced after my own mother's has been in the poly relationship I have with my best friend and her boyfriend, now husband." All right then, followed swiftly by, "I'd pick a slutty threesome over God's love any day." Truly, truly peak internet right there. Bet you didn't expect a whole religious debate in this deep dive, huh? Because I sure didn't.
It's fascinating, isn't it? How the comment section becomes this echo chamber for collective biases and expectations, often driven by confirmation bias, where people just interpret everything through their existing lens of drama or cynicism. That huge focus on the threesome thing, even though OP was crystal clear. It just shows that preference for titillation over, actual healthy resolution, and the widespread disbelief about the women apologizing. That really reflects a kind of pervasive online cynicism about accountability, especially around gender dynamics, which probably mirrors some broader societal biases too. If we connect it to the bigger picture, a lot of commenters just couldn't square the mature ending with their idea of how drama is supposed to play out online. It really begs the question, are we just so conditioned by dramatic narratives, especially the ones we consume digitally, that a healthy adult outcome feels less real or maybe just less entertaining? And the sudden jump to a theological debate. That just highlights the internet's amazing ability to take literally any specific event and blow it up into some huge, often absurd, philosophical or moral free-for-all, totally detached from the original context.
So, okay, what does all this chaos actually mean for you listening to this unfold? Well, first off, communication. It's like everything. Actual talking, not sending passive-aggressive TikToks or vague memes. OP actually sat them down, laid it all out, talked it through. And guess what? No relationships imploded. The problem wasn't ignored. It was dealt with. People apologized. That's like actual growth right there.
Absolutely. And this situation really illustrates that common psychological pitfall, the whole slippery slope idea, right? Where those seemingly small boundary issues, if you don't check them, can spiral into really severe outcomes. OP stepping in, clearly stating the stakes and consequences again, that show how vital assertive communication is. It disrupted that escalating pattern before things got totally irreparable. This whole deep dive is a reminder that, yeah, maturity and directness can lead to resolution, even if it's less juicy for the online audience. And for D, the core lesson seems to be about seeking validation from healthy sources, understanding self-worth, healthy attachment, not like this. And for the wife, really understanding the unintended ripple effects of advice, even well-meaning advice. There's a responsibility there, right? Within relationships. It seems like everyone involved genuinely learns something.
For sure. And takeaway number 2, boundaries are everything. Bestie, seriously. If your whole comforting a friend situation somehow morphs into lap-sitting and ring talk, yeah, you've probably crossed a few lines, maybe a highway. Know your limits, communicate them clearly, and actually stick to them. OP was firm, and it worked out. He protected his peace, like some commenters pointed out, which is a massive slay, honestly. It really boils down to respecting yourself, respecting your partner, and sometimes that means having those awkward but totally necessary conversations.
That emphasis on clear boundaries is just so crucial, isn't it, for keeping any relationship healthy and intact. You see D's progression: emotional reliance, then physical intimacy, then reaching for a commitment symbol like the ring. It perfectly shows that natural escalation when boundaries are fuzzy or just not enforced. OP's ability to calmly but firmly put those boundaries back in place. That was absolutely fundamental to fixing things without causing even more damage. It really highlights that it's not just about having the tough talks, but about consistently upholding your own comfort zone and respecting the agreements, spoken or unspoken, within your partnership.
And that, fam, is the T on the whole wife's friend saga. What a ride. From emotional boyfriend vibes straight through to the infamous no threesome punchline, this deep dive had it all. It's just a wild reminder that sometimes the most epic internet stories don't end with fireworks and reality TV drama. Sometimes they end with, like, a quiet beer and some actual lessons learned. So, hey, if you vibed with this deep dive, you know the drill. Definitely subscribe and maybe write some comments below. Let us know what other unhinged Reddit ratty holes you want us to explore next. Your engagement, it slays. For real. And here's a final thought to chew on. Next time you're giving advice to a friend or maybe just side-eyeing some weird relationship dynamics, ask yourself, is this potentially going to end up as a viral Reddit update, or is it going to be a healthy resolution that leaves thousands of anonymous internet strangers feeling vaguely disappointed?
Choose wisely, fam. Choose wisely. Until next time, stay hydrated and try not to let your friends emotionally pimp out your spouse, okay? Peace.